Prisoner deliberately sewed himself into a sack and the guards threw him into the sea without knowing it. After a lucky escape, Johnson swam for 8 days and 8 nights to reach an uninhabited island, but he found a cave on the top of a mountain, closed by rocks. So driven by curiosity, he moved the boulders away little by little, and then dragged his tired body into the cave, which not only had a huge space, but also had tens of thousands of iron boxes on the ground. Johnson could not believe his eyes. He was full of anticipation to open a look inside the boxes, all gold and silver jewelry. The only sound left in the cave was heavy breathing, and even Johnson's heart began to beat uncontrollably. He never dreamed that what his old friend in prison had said was true, that one day he would be sitting on a huge fortune, and that the gold coins, which he would not be able to spend in several lifetimes, would be the strongest support for Johnson on his way to revenge. After 15 years in prison, his life has been destroyed and now it's time to find out the truth. Afterwards, Johnson went to a church to confess his sins for the next step of revenge, during which he might commit a lot of sins, and even if he would fall into hell, he would never regret it. After unlocking the shackles in his heart, Johnson also had a preliminary plan, but his identity is now too sensitive to be personally involved in many things. At this time he remembered that he had helped Andy, not only bought him 2 large ships but also purchased 3 villas. In exchange he asked Andy to wear formal dress in 7 days to meet in Marseille, but also gave a large amount of additional money. This has been smuggling business to support the family of Andy. Was ecstatic. He has never seen so much money. Thought he has been wandering half a lifetime like walking on thin ice, and now it can be considered to embrace a big leg. This time he did not want to let go of anything, and Johnson took advantage of this gap, dressed as a nobleman to the former work of the pier where he learned. A bad news: once the boss, because of the poor business, now owed a huge debt, announced closure, cannot pay back. He had to sell his name of the 2 piers, and even on the Pharaoh ship also sank into the sea. In just a decade or so, the changes have been so great that Johnson sighed in amazement. Soon it was the day of the appointment and Andy came dressed in his best clothes as requested. Looking at his savior, who was a different person, he was both surprised and curious, and couldn't help but ask Johnson where he got so much money. But now Johnson is not the same as in the past. He casually found an excuse that his family has a mine and inherited a rich legacy, and then perfunctorily passed away. Johnson then went straight to the point and wanted Andy to be his right-hand man and might give him some more dangerous tasks, but would also be well paid provided he didn't tell anyone the secret. After seeing Johnson's wealth, Andy did not even think about it, directly agreed, and Johnson then told the tragic experience of these years. Was framed and imprisoned for 15 years. When he came back to his father's death, fiancé remarried. Even more outrageous is that 10 years ago, some people rumors that he died in prison and even set up a tombstone in the cemetery.